I'm Eutychus Kangangi from Biodoctor Kenya Limited. So today, from yesterday and today, we have been here at the KCC Expo done by Nation Media Group. It is about SMEs, a small-scale business. And today, as Biodoctor, we are here to make awareness of the better system to handle our sewer challenges. Currently, what we know most is about septic tanks, latrines, and also currently nowadays even you have people also disposing their sewer solution to the rivers, forest, and all that. For septic tanks, you know you are supposed every now and then to keep on filling up, but you need an exhauster, which is very expensive, also very smelling. I believe you can't need any visitor when you are doing an exhaustion. Also it takes a very big space in your compound, a number of mammon holes and all that. For latrines, with the time it sinks and it collapses, and also it's kind of a safety hazard. We also have a municipal sewer that we are being offered by our county government, and it is capital intensive, meaning that it's very hard and challenging to serve the whole population. And also currently we don't have very many government roads. Because a sewer system, a communal sewer system or county or municipal sewer system needs a very big tract of land, like the one we have at Ruai. And currently we don't have roads. So what we have is a solution that every individual can handle at his or her own compound. And that's how now the Biodoctor Kenya Limited comes in, by giving you on-site sewer system. We have a Biodicester in our package. We have something called a grease trap, and they have something called a French drain or a soakage. In every domestic house, you have two types of wastewaters. We have one is called black waters. Black waters is waste from the toilets. The other one is called grey water. Grey water is water from the kitchens. We have bathrooms, we have wash-hand basins, and we have sinks. So we handle those two types of water differently. One is water from the toilets, which is black waters. We use something called a Biodicester. A Biodicester is technically a concrete tank, highly reinforced and fibrated. It uses two principles. One principle is displacement principle. The other one is biodegradation principle. For biodegradation principle to work on, we apply something called enzyme. Remember, when you are doing chemistry and sciences, you are introduced by your teacher of something called an enzyme. Enzyme is a catalyst. The work of a catalyst in our Biodicester, it speeds up the growth of bacteria, and also it speeds up the rate of the reaction. So when we are doing plastering inside our Biodicester, we apply enzyme when you are doing plastering. Then, after it's cured, now that's where the displacement principle comes in. We fill it up with the water up to the outer level. So it means before using our Biodicester, it's already full of water. So now, everything that comes from the toilet is organic. From tissues, you have feces and you have urine. It's 100% biodegraded by bacteria. We have aerobic bacteria, it's generally oxygen bacteria. The other bacteria is called anaerobic bacteria, is absence of oxygen. All that organic matter is 100% biodegraded back to fluidless water, rich in nitrogen gas, some methane, and also we have some potassium. Then where does that water goes to? So, if you remember, I said that before using, you fill our Biodicester with the water. So it means if you flush, let's assume 8 liters of water from the toilet, equal amount of water is displaced from the Biodicester to where you want that water to go to. Now, that's where we come and we get another apartment or another part of our package called French drain or soakage. In the septic tank, we use a soak pit. In our system, we use something called a French drain. In the septic, we use a soak pit which is vertically deeper. With the time, maybe you get rocks, other places the water table is very high, and the day that water won't soak anywhere. Now in our case, instead of going vertically deeper, we go more horizontal. If you agree with me, the soils that usually absorbs water is from the ground up to about maybe 5 to 6 feet deep. So in the trench, we go about, the length is about, it depends with the kind or the volume of water that we are expecting in the household, maybe the family house or maybe a commercial institution. So the length, it will be dependent. The least we can do for a family house is about 15 feet. For a commercial about 15 to 20 meters. That's about 60 feet. Then in the trench, we put the hard cores that doesn't absorb water. Over the hard cores, we put a polyethylene paper, then backfill with the soil to the normal ground. So when you displace that water from the biodigester, equal amount of water is displaced to the French drain. And because now you have given that water very big surface area to percolate and spread to the ground, there's no time the system will ever fill up. The other, if you remember, we said that we have two types of water. We have already handled the black water, that's that water from the toilets. Now the other type of water is grey water. Grey water, we said, is water from the kitchen, water from bathrooms, water from wash and basins, and water from lobby sink. That one we treat or we manage it using something called a glister. There's something which is very nuisance in our sewer. That is fats, oils, and greases. Once they get cold and they get to our pipes, they clog and block. And now to avoid all that, that's the reason we need a grease trap at the kitchen point to trap all that. And the grease trap is the only part of our package that you need to be servicing every now and then, according to the consumption. Our system, the whole of it is not mechanical, it's not electrical, meaning that it doesn't need any maintenance. If you do a Biodoctor, Biodigester, we give you a 7 years guarantee. Doesn't mean that after 7 years it will cease to work. By the way, after 7 years it will be seven times more effective than how you did it initially. Why? Because the bacteria will have multiplied. Yes, it also saves the space and all that. We first of all we meet with the technical people, that is plumber, maybe an architect, an engineer. We first of all go through your plan. We know where your toilets are located, the kitchens and all that. We come up with the best location to do a biodigester and also on the best levels. Because levels varies with the type of soils. You can do the same level in a place with red soil, with the same level the place with cotton soil or high water tables like maybe Eldoret and somewhere else. So we prefer first we meet the technical people, then we agree on the location, the levels and all that. Then once the client engages us, he or she does the down payment, we get to the ground, we do the system. Then once we are done, we hand over, I give you a guarantee and also a handover letter. Our rates, they depends with the markets because of logistics. It depends how far you are from our nearest yard. We have a yard at Nairobi, we have another one at Nanyuki, we have another one at Eldoret, another one at Kerisho. To those people who are nearby, we're about maybe 100 kilometers to the nearest yards. It varies from about 120 to 160,000. That is for a domestic house. But for commercials, they vary because we have different sizes for different populations. Yes. So he prefers first of all, let's come for a site visit. Let's advise you. Let's give you a quote. What we do over time, we take the effluent to the government lab. Then after that, they make sure that it meets the parameters. Then we go to NEMA and we get a NEMA recommendation letter. So we usually have a NEMA recommendation letter. Also, there's also advantage you have working with Biodoctor Kenya Limited. We also registered by National Construction Authority as contractors. So we can assure you that our structures, they are the best in the market because we make sure that we do pure concrete, highly reinforced and fibrated. For example, schools, we have done like Kionyo, Gao School that is at Gatanga. They had a very big challenge on sewer. We have another school called Hoitstar, that is at Sabaki. We have another school called Utawala Springs, that is at Utawala. We have Mikisa School, that is at Karen. We have another one called the Lion of Yunda, that is at Kagudo Road, near Mashokos, just to name a few. We have farms like Finresti at Kerisho. We have Sisibo Tree at Eldoret. We have Tulasha Farm, that is at Kinagop. We have Tausi Farm at Timau, just to name a few. We have industries or factories like Greenberg Industries, that is at Mombasa. It's the biggest Greenberg hardware in East Africa. We have done in many residential houses around the country. We have also another one called Globotech Renewable Energy at Eldoret. We did them a system that can handle 500 to 600 users. We have that in gated communities, petrol stations like Shell Meble, Total Utawala, Best Petroleum at Mazelas Mombasa. We have Hatch petrol station at Rongai. We have Formula petrol station at Mwiki, just to name a few. we see ourselves as a market leader in giving the best sewer solution, and we also like praying and working on having the climate is changing every day. We are cutting our trees every day, and we need to recycle every drop of water that we use. So we are also working about how we can recycle that water completely to a position that we can take it to the flushing system. Maybe you can use it for gardening, for washing maybe cars and maybe the spaces and all that. One of the challenges is inorganic materials. Like we have plastic papers, we have pads, all those inorganic. And those ones have proved to be a challenge for potential. The current clients is that Biodoctor is a company that you can rely on, that you can count on when it comes to sewer, and you are ready and always to be with you. We are ready to walk the journey with you, the construction journey, during, after, and always.